is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the EWA 2K23 roster reveal. I am joined this time by the creator of Thorn, our second roster reveal. Hello.
What's up?
And we're going to do the same thing we did last week. We're going to talk through one of our featured wrestlers who will be involved in the very first episode of EWA 2K23 when that drops. And something in common with last week's as well. You two are a team, so this is fun. Starting off with Fun Hinged, week 1 and week 2.
I mean, if you want to call it a team.
I think it's a team. So yeah, talk us through Thorn's look, Thorn's origins, whatever you feel would be appropriate to tell us about Thorn. Really, introduce him as if you're introducing him to an audience who knows nothing about him. Because you probably are. There'll probably be someone watching this who doesn't have a clue what EWA is, so.
Well, I mean, Thorn really started as a joke character I made back in 2K19, just as kind of a joke for Taylor. Because at the time, Fun Hinge wasn't a thing. It was just him.
Mm.
And I was using a completely different wrestler at the time. You know what? I'm going to make something that rivals, if not intensifies the crazy of Taylor Osborne. That's where this face painted weirdo came from.
Yeah, so one thing we do in EWA quite a lot is what we call dark matches, which is just people playing together for the fun of it. Not scheduled match cards, not ever with the intention of putting it on the YouTube channel or anything like that. Just at the end of the day, we play video games together, so it's like a friend group, and we just get together and play some wild games. So I'm guessing that's where Thorn sort of got introduced in the first place, was it? Just as like a foil to Taylor, almost in those dark matches.
It actually, it was Taylor, Cord, who you'll probably talk to at some point.
Yes.
Down the road. Another guy who's no longer in our league at the moment, and myself, we were doing a tag match because told them that I had a tag partner for Taylor.
Yeah.
And so he got introduced to the three of them, and most everyone else afterwards.
That's a really appropriate way to introduce him, and he's still there, acting out as Taylor's tag partner. So I'm going to ask the obvious question that people are probably thinking if they're watching this and watching EWA for the first time. Why has he got no shoes on?
Well, you see, he lives under the ring, so he really can't afford much of anything to begin with. He just doesn't care for him.
Fair enough. He doesn't care for shoes. I mean, so you see a lot of wrestlers of Samoan heritage wearing like wraps instead of like wrestling boots. And it was also a bit of a trope in the olden days for like the nasty foreign heel to not wear shoes. But this isn't like a look how tough he is, he's wearing no shoes thing. This is just Thorn being Thorn, really, isn't it?
And if you notice under his pants, he's got knee pads on, but no shoes.
Very safety conscious of his knees, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Which is very interesting given his fighting style.
So, Thorn's quite similar, I would say, to how I remember him first being. There's been another iteration, the sort of the pigtail Thorn that I do remember, but you've been quite consistent with how Thorn's looked. Has that been easier, or has there been any issues with like them taking an element out of the game that you used to use for Thorn, or any sort of roadblocks like that? Like, how have you kept him quite consistent through the years?
My thought process with Thorn was always going to be that ring gear was going to stay more or less the same, or as close as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And entrance attire is what was going to change. Because I don't know if you remember, when I first started using him, he came out dressed sort of like Slender Man. or no, he first came out as Batman, and then he came out as Slender Man with like the full 3-piece suit, and he had just had a white blackout mask on,
I,
so
I,
no, you couldn't see any features of him.
I do remember his Batman entrance gear. Yeah, I don't remember the Slenderman one. Might have been short lived. I don't know.
That one was really short lived because I eventually found the 3-face mask that he used last year's game.
Yeah. Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah. So that instantly replaced the Slenderman one, did it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But the actual in-ring attire has been pretty consistent. Is that, again, you mentioned budget for the shoes and just preference? Is that just like Thorn has one set of ring gear and always wears it? Or like is that the idea?
It's more like, I don't know if I've seen a couple of cartoons here and there where like they make a joke about, the characters wearing the same clothes every day, and like they open up the closet and it's just the same pairs of clothes, just like 5 different pairs of them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically what's going on here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I recall Family Guy doing that with Lois, and she just got green shirts and tan pants, and just like lots of them. I think I vaguely recall that. I've seen it in a few cartoons, so that's more the thing. Is that he's got more than one outfit. They're just all identical.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is. I think like a cartoon character is quite a good sort of way to base your understanding of Thorn in a way.
He's honestly as close to a cartoon character as you're gonna get in real life. And I love that they've done this year. The fanny pack is furry this year. It wasn't like previous years.
I hadn't noticed that, but yeah, that is excellent. So he's got yeah, you get those sort of like furry accessories like bags or what have you, or furry boots. I think some people like wear. He's got a furry bum bag, we call it over here. It's quite quite the upgrade. He's replaced his bum bag with a furry one. Very nice.
And not even he knows what's in there. So
It'd be quite good if at any point in WWE 2K future, like small weaponry becomes a thing, because he could have like what's been used in wrestling matches, like screwdrivers, forks, stuff like that. You could just have like a random assortment of things, a rubber duck. I don't know.
yeah, he honestly would just have like a handful of like D4s in there, like the pyramid ones. That's all he'd have in there.
Just dice. Just throw some dice at people.
Yeah.
And a smoke bomb. Because why not? Yeah, so is there any sort of like detail you want to go over with Thorn? Like explain, like I assume the clown face on the front is just a direct sort of thing towards Taylor, because like you say, you created him as a bit of a joke character at first. Was it just like Taylor's a bit of a clown, vaguely Joker-esque? I say vaguely. Is that the reason for the clown, or?
It always was kind of a dig at the fact that Taylor originally was like that clownish character, and more so now than he used to be.
Yeah.
But and then face paint didn't always used to be the black, purple, and green that it is now. It originally was black, white, and red.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it changed once he officially became a Fun Hinged member.
Yeah, he joined the purple and green fully. The hair's always interested me. Did you just like it? Why is it half black and half white rather than maybe a green and purple? Or was there a thought process behind his what I consider his signature Mohican? Is there a pattern in it as well? That's crazy.
It's like braided into the mohawk part there.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah. That's just something I've always wanted to keep consistent with him.
Yeah.
Similar with the pigtail version of him from the past couple of years. That's something with the specific attire I just want to keep consistent regardless.
Fair enough. He's like Fun Hinged-esque in that there's a lot of purple and green involved, but there's a lot of like, but I'm not just a Taylor clone. Like there's a lot of blue in the attire, a lot of white in the attire and in his hair. It's very much sort of like created kind of to be part of Fun Hinged, but also to not be. You know, if need be, it can just be Thorn. If for some reason like Taylor wasn't in EWA, Thorn could still stand alone, and people wouldn't just be like, why is the other guy from Taylor's group still here? You know, kind of thing. Because he's got so many sort of different, like there's a lot of blue, a lot of white, and it's sort of more varied. Like there's obviously the red on the clown as well. Is that an intentional thing, or was that just you got asked to pick 4 colors for the sleeves, so you picked 4 colors?
Well, I was asked to pick 4 colors for the sleeves, but there's 2 versions of the shirt. One that's just a solid, uh, different color for the arms,
Right.
separate from the torso. But I wanted the rainbow one just to get all the colors in there.
Yeah.
But I always planned if for whatever reason Taylor and I just decided we didn't want to have Fun Hinge be a thing, which I don't foresee that being a thing ever. We're loving this way too much to ever split it up. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I had that out if I needed it.
Yeah, because I think it would have been very easy. I think there's 4 colors you can select for the sleeves. I think it would have been really easy to just go green, purple, and go really all in on the Fun Hinged. But you decided to mix in some blue and some white, and it makes Thorn stand out against. I mean, last year for the brief time that we were uploading, you know, Fun Hinge was a 4-man group, and I think it made Thorn stand out even in that group because the others are very green and purple, and Thorn was always a bit more beat of his own drum kind of thing. As committed as he, and as we can hear, you are to the group, it was still sort of like a maybe just marching half a beat off step kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean part of the half step march is because you know you got to be careful when you're barefoot. You don't know what you're gonna step on.
Exactly, could be Lego or anything. Right, so shall we take a look at Thorn's entrance gear and see how he styles to come to the ring? All right, so he appears to have invested the money he does get for EWA, not in a new apartment. He still lives under the ring, but he's got himself a nice robe and an entrance mask that looks like maybe a coyote jackal type of thing.
I was thinking it was more like Anubis, like the
Oh, okay.
Egyptian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see that.
but yeah. That's what he's always spent his money more on
On a robe.
things on things he wears for like maybe a minute at a time, and then throws it to the side.
He it does look like quite the ornate robe. I imagine it costs a pretty penny. So yeah, that does explain. That does explain why he's not gone and bought himself an apartment and still lives under the ring, because I imagine that robe costs a month's rent or two. That's quite decorative. It reminds me a little bit of Taylor's entrance coat from last year. I don't know, you know, with the sort of the vertical lines and then the almost ladders going up it, if you like, that pattern. A little bit. I don't know if that's coincidental or intentional. But is this a new robe this year? Because I don't recall ever seeing this like.
I think it is. I didn't recognize it when I was going through the robes, which is partially why I chose it.
Yeah.
Part which I don't want to get too much into it, but I needed some part of Taylor for Thorn because the part he stole from Taylor last year isn't part of him this year.
Okay.
His ceiling of Taylor's finisher is no longer a thing.
Oh, we have a new finisher on Thorn, do we? Oh well, we'll have to wait and see. For I don't want. Let's not spoil that. We'll have to wait until the action kicks off for that. But yeah, we always had the MSFTO, the move stolen from Taylor Osborne, which is just the UTO but with a different name. Oh,
Yeah.
so Thorn gonna be debuting a new finishing move. Fascinating. So the Anubis mask, random choice, like you just liked it and thought it'd look good in green and purple, or is there any sort of reason behind it? I think this is the fascinating thing with Thorn, is a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I picked this thing because, you know, it's a reference to this character trait and blah, blah, blah. It seems over the years, most times I've asked you anything about Thorn, you've just sort of been like, I don't know, I figured he'd like it. You know, because it's just like, that's just how his character is. It's just impulse. He was probably walking down the street and saw that robe and was like, yep, I'll have that. You know, it feels quite impulsive Thorn's character.
Yeah, the mask came before the robe. I had originally planned I was just gonna have his entrance attire be as close to the like Egyptian Anubis image as possible.
Okay.
I went with the mask. I couldn't really find anything to fit with it, and so I just found the mask, found the robe, put them together, matched colors.
Honestly, I kind of think that works better for Thorn than if you'd
too.
succeeded in finding a full Anubis gear, because a full Anubis gear, it'd have been like, I mean, it's still kind of random, but it all matches and makes sense, and that doesn't make sense with Thorn, whereas now, just like the Anubis mask plus just an expensive looking bathrobe. You know, it's just a great look for him, honestly.
And I just love how the green pattern just comes to the point there.
Yeah.
It's
Is this someone's robe? Like, we are allowed to talk about real wrestlers in the...
No.
You don't...
Honestly,
I don't recognize it from anyone.
see, I feel like it is someone's robe, but I honestly don't know.
It seems very deliberate, and like it's a specific pattern for them to have just put on like a generic piece of clothing. It does seem like it must be someone's.
And I mean, it doesn't help that we're doing, fun hinge colors, because for all we know, if we see it in the colors it's supposed to be, we'd be like, oh yeah, it's that person's robe.
Yeah, but the only people I can think of that I can remember wearing a robe to the ring that are in this game are Robert Roode and Charlotte Flair, and it's definitely neither of theirs, is it? So, like, because both have the name on the back for starters.
It's definitely not a Ric Flair robe either.
Yeah, it's not a Ric Flair that's just been like left in from the last game or anything. It's yeah, I can't place it, but it just looks great, because to me it really does look like he's just bought himself a really nice expensive bathrobe and he's like, I'm gonna start wearing this to the ring.
Yeah, and then I'm actually gonna go back to the ring gear real quick. Something I meant to point out that I didn't, that you can't really see with the mask on. That's not what I wanted to do. that looks even better, actually. I'm gonna keep that one.
Yosemite Thorn.
No, his eyeballs there.
His eyeballs. It's quite blurry because of the internet connection. Are the swirly ones?
No, he's got smiley face contacts on.
Oh, right. Is it like purple on green or green on purple? It looks.
It's green on purple.
Yeah, it's quite the connection over the PlayStation is quite bad, so it's a little bit blurry. So it's not super clear but yeah, I can just about. That's why I thought it must be green on purple or purple on green, because if the smile was, say, black, it'd probably stand out more. So, like, yeah, that's why I was guessing. But yeah, very nice. That's, Taylor has one of those contacts, doesn't he? Thorn went the whole hog and got both.
Yeah, I believe they initially came as just one. One was going to wear one was going to wear the other. Thorn liked it so much that he decided to splurge a bit and get the other one also.
Oh, big spender. Nice new bathrobe and 2 contact lenses. What a big spender. Shall we go on and have a look at his entrance now?
Sure.
All right. Coincidence that you've got the same Tron, or intentional on yours and Taylor's part for continuity?
The time complete coincidence.
Really? That's fun. Great minds and all that.
Yeah, I watched the video of Taylor and I messaged him later. I was like, I love how we have the exact same videos and everything without talking to each other whatsoever.
By the way, I love 2 things. I love that Thorn has the old Emma dance as his entrance. I actually love the fact that it's still in the game as well, because like Emma, especially that version of Emma, has been gone probably for longer than we've known each other from WWE. Like, she turned into like serious heel Emma, and then there was the brief Emelina thing, and then she left, and then she briefly came back, and now I don't even know if she's still there. But like, yeah, they've just kept this in, and it's so. I associate it more with Thorn than Emma now, if I'm honest. Like, it's just his little dance.
Been him since the beginning.
Yeah.
To the ring.
Again, was it just like a this is sort of a joke character, let's give him a silly entrance in the first place, and then you just decided to stick with it when you decided to run with Thorn, or was there anything more to it than that, really?
Well, what really sold me on it was this part here where he's doing the flip into the ring. The first iteration of Thorn was the Batman version.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know what you're going to say. Go on.
When he'd finish the flip in the ring, the cape would get stuck on his head and then slowly fall off.
Oh, good old 2K physics. Love it.
All that, I was like, well, now this has to be his entrance, regardless of what else I find, because I'm not going to find anything better than that.
Yeah, that is... I do remember that. I remember having a good chuckle over that a few times, because it's just a great little detail. It's just, like, it doesn't seem to happen with this robe, which is almost disappointing in a way, because it easily could. The robe is open, so...
And then you got the mistimed pyro.
I haven't noticed. Is it off?
It starts right there.
Yeah! And then he just, like, looks around like, oh, my pyro's gone off. Best pose. I love it.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Not even fully in the ring yet, and pyro goes off.
Oh, and then I do love, though, like, let's watch this through again. When the pyro goes off and he ends up in the ring, it is almost like he looks over his shoulder, catches it out the corner of his eye and goes, oh, pose. Like, and it's so Thorn in, like, so many ways. But the thing is, I don't want people watching this to think that Thorn is just a joke character. Like, that is one of those, he like, to me, he's like, not in the fighting style necessarily, but you know when Brock Lesnar's having a laugh with someone, and it's like, yeah, but he's still dangerous. He's still like, he could, like, let's watch this bit real quick, because this is what I love, is he goes, wait, what? Oh, okay, that, quick pose, pose while the fire's still there. Like, it's like, oh, I was planning on doing that and the fire going off, but never mind, keep dancing. But yeah, it's sort of like that sort of vibe. He's not just a comedy character, which I think a lot of people are used to sort of the WWE way of booking things where they're lower card. You know, Thorn's had some pretty big success in EWA seasons past on previous games, you know, so more of sort of like a Brock dancing with the Money in the Bank briefcase than a Santino saying John Cena, you know, if you're trying to place him on the card.
I was just thinking Brock Lesnar with that, the beatbox briefcase, yeah.
My personal favourite version of Brock. It didn't last long enough, in my opinion. But yeah, it's sort of that sort of vibe where he loves to have a dance and come to the ring and have a bit of a laugh, but he also, like... Yeah, he knows what he's doing in there. He's not just there to dance to the ring, lose in a few seconds, and dance to the back, you know, like a Bushwhacker Luke Royal Rumble appearance or something. You know, he's there to get the job done in the ring. We should talk about his friends, his assistants, quickly. Introduce people to the notion of Thorn having friends that sometimes help him out in matches where they can.
We have so many to name, but I'll stick to the main ones that he references all the time. So yeah, being that he lives under the ring, you know, where all the quote-unquote weapons are, you know, you've got the steel chair, or as Thorn likes to call it, Charlie.
Yep.
You've got the tables, or Tabitha.
Yep.
And you've got Kendo, the kendo stick.
Yeah, Kendo. Why is he the only one with a full name? It's curious.
Honestly, Thorn just couldn't think of a name.
Breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, just couldn't think of one. I love it. But yeah, I really look forward to this, and it's going to be an interesting start to EWA, because you know, Funhinged are, in our lore, are quite an established team. Now we are going to be sort of restarting EWA from the point where a new fan can come into it and pick it up. They won't need any prior knowledge, but I assume we will, in the reasonably early days, start seeing them team up, as well as their own individual sort of stories and progressions and whatnot. Any plans for, like, tag entrances? Have you discussed anything like that with Taylor? Because, you know, unfortunately, there's still no function in the game to just sort of combine two entrances and just move them around so they stay out of each other's way, which to me is the absolute dream. Thorn dancing down to the ring like this, basically just during Taylor's entrance, like, I think would be the most Thorn thing ever. Like,
Oh, I would love it if that was the entrance we could do. But no, we haven't talked so much about our planned tag entrance, but just knowing the two of us, you know it's gonna be fun.
yeah, there's gonna have to be something, isn't there? That's
Oh.
that's suitable for you both. Like, but yeah, I can just
Mind.
I can just fully picture Thorn sort of like dancing around Taylor a little bit, you know, and stuff, and Taylor being very amused by it.
A couple in mind, and I know he's got a couple in mind. We just haven't had the schedule match up for us to sit down and talk too much about that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because we are going to be starting off with like a focus on the singles competition when we get started, without giving too much away in these early videos. Like, keep people coming back for more. But you know, down the line, I think everyone in management and just in EWA in general would agree. There's definitely a place for like a tag division and stuff like that, and Thorn and Taylor would be an obvious early team to try and be successful in that division. So really looking forward to both elements. You know, I think Funhinged have been really successful as a unit in past versions, but Taylor and Thorn have both been successful in their own right as well. So looking forward to seeing where it takes you. And I do just love the fact that you pick the same entrance video. Like, every time it pans out for the new entrance starting, I'm like, it just reminds me. I just think that's great that you did it without even planning it.
Yeah. And watching it over and over again like this, I'm noticing as he's slipping into the ring, the rope does try and like go over, and then at some point it just clips through him, and he's just like, nah, we're not doing it anymore.
Does it actually clip through him? I haven't even noticed that. Let's watch it here. I didn't even realise. Oh yeah, it just goes through his torso, doesn't it? I never even noticed. That's brilliant. Love it. And you get little flashes of the furry bum bag coming out through the robe as well. It's like a little flashing strobe light on the back of his robe.
Now knowing that, this works just as well as the cape over the head.
Yeah. Love it. Love to see it. So yeah, we'll be seeing Thorn in EWA 2K23 basically from the first show. Well, not basically, from the first show. So, you know, looking forward to that. And yeah, wishing you all the best in being the first ever barefoot EWA wrestler. Oh no, wait, actually, not first ever. Didn't we have one? I think we had one, right? But a very different take on the barefoot, though. I'm thinking from the olden days that have been featured in like classic matches. We had Mammoth. Was Mammoth here before Thorn or after? I can't remember.
No, Thorn started first.
Oh, Mammoth stole the gimmick.
I mean, I don't think there's much that he can steal.
I want to see Mammoth doing the sentence now.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Anyway, we're getting a little bit off the beaten track, but yeah, if you're watching this and you like the look of Thorn, go back, check out the previous one with Taylor as well, and make sure you subscribe so that when we get up and running with the show proper, we you're here to see it. And we're going to be revealing a new roster member. Our internet has just gone really low quality, but that's fine. We're ending the video now. But yeah, we're going to be revealing a new roster member every single week until the launch of EWA properly. So yeah, try and keep up with those videos. Leave a like and let us know what you think in the comments. I'll be interested to see some thoughts on Thorn. He's quite the unique character.
I've been told by a certain dancing man we're watching that Thorn Thoughts are going to be returning to his Twitter.
Lovely, can't wait. Yeah, that Twitter handle that's been showing on that on the screen that comes up to tell you who the person is actually a real Twitter handle that belongs to Thorn. So yeah, definitely go give him a follow on Twitter as well. It's very entertaining. But yeah, I think we'll call it here. But thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.